Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NGSL Heath Webb Report here, powered by Amiclola Propane. First of all, I want to wish all of our veterans a happy Veterans Day and a thank you for your service. Definitely appreciate what you've done for our country and protecting our freedoms on this Veterans Day as we celebrate here. But here with Coach Heath Webb of Lumpkin County. Coach, finally, Lumpkin has an opponent in the state playoffs after a week of waiting for a couple regions to finish up their schedules. Just thoughts on this past season, Lumpkin going 7-3 and a tough year from a competitive schedule and everything. But hey, you come out second seed, and that's great for this program. 3 years under your leadership, a region title, and two region runner-ups.
Yeah, we're excited to have another home game. 3 years in a row to be able to host a home playoff game is pretty special, especially this year. It was a difficult year for us with just the number of injuries that we had, and what makes it special to me is the fact that we kept fighting through. Nobody made any excuses, even though there were plenty for us to make, and nobody made excuses. Just kept fighting and. To come away as a region runner-up wasn't exactly what we wanted, but all things considered, really proud of this group of players and coaches and the way we continue to fight. And to get to this point now, we can just kind of reset and let's see if we can go make a run.
Yeah, looking back over the season, there's one comment made by Cal in one of our interviews talking about games we felt that we should have won. And I think he was referring to that North Hall game and that GAC game, which would have put you into the 1 seed. But it seems like, that's been one of the drives for this team. There's things that y'all, as you said, felt that, y'all could have, finished higher in this region and everything. But, hey, still a great year regardless.
It is. This group of seniors has averaged 9 wins a season over the last 3 years. So we're certainly not going to turn our nose up at a region runner-up, and we're not going to turn our nose up at a 7-win season. Winning football games in the state of Georgia is a difficult thing to do, especially in our region with a lot of parity. Had to win a lot of close games and unfortunately fell in a couple of close games. But we do feel like we've got a good football team, regardless of, those that might have got away from us. But it's also been a motivating factor, as you mentioned that Cal said, to continue to prove ourselves following those losses. And I think we've done a good job with that.
Well, talk about the excitement around the community and the program. As you mentioned earlier, another state home playoff game, and during your tenure, all state games have been played at Lumpkin for this bunch.
Yeah, it's cool. It's exciting for our community. For us as a football program, we'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. But to be able to give our students, our fan base, our community, to be able to give them another Friday night home playoff game is pretty special. So we kind of consider that as our gift to the people that support us. And we know that our fans will show up in big numbers to help support us.
What did the delay in the release of the playoff bracket, as I start to bring it up here on the screen, did that impact your preparation or getting ready for LaGrange because you didn't know who you're going to be playing there for a while?
It was really good for us because it gave us an opportunity to kind of step back, and it almost became like day one of spring practice where we we just work on fundamentals and not have to worry about a game plan. So just kind of go back to blocking and tackling and focus on the things that we could control. And felt like it was a really good week for us. Happy to know that we have an opponent now. Getting that opponent at 8 p.m. on a Saturday night, we're a little behind schedule. Normally, we obviously know who our opponent is well in advance. So we're just trying to get caught up on our preparation for those guys at this point.
Thoughts about the bracket as I'm showing it here on the screen there. A win would put you up against Sandy Creek or Daresville. Now, I know you're not going to look ahead and everything, but just overall thoughts with this bracket.
A lot of good football teams right there. I think we talk about parity in our region. There's also a lot of parity in AAA. I think there's a lot of good football teams, a lot of teams that can beat each other. And so, I think that, our little quadrant of the bracket there has got a lot of good football teams. A North Hall team that we know pretty well, and a Gilmer team that we're familiar with from having played them in the past, and had the opportunity to look at Upson Lee in their film against LaGrange. Had an opportunity to look at Sandy Creek. There's a lot of good football teams right there in just our little quadrant of the bracket. So we know that there's plenty of challenges out there in front of us. But as you mentioned, we got to worry about LaGrange and can't worry about any of those others.
Your thoughts on this overall power ranking process? I know, from a media perspective, Walker, Bo, some of the guys at Access, we're doing what if scenarios. I said, guys, we can throw up this scenario. At one time it was LaGrange, one time it was somebody in Southwest Georgia. It changes every week, and then all of a sudden the power rankings disappeared Thursday night. You didn't know where everybody was shuffling out on this thing.
I'm not real sure that I love it. I'm not real sure that I hate it. I get you essentially get what traditionally, us as a 2 seed and LaGrange was a 3 seed. That's kind of the way the old system worked.
Yeah.
But that's just focus on us. You look at some of those others, there are teams that are playing opponents in round 1 that were also in their region. I don't like that. That piece, yeah. I don't like that. You look at Region 8 AAA, they're all in the same quadrant together. And so when you look at those kind of things, to know that you might have to play 1, 2, maybe even 3 teams that you played in the regular season, not something that I like about this system. So, but did it get the best 32 teams in? It probably did. There's some good and some bad.
Yeah, I concur with your statements and everything. A lot of talk about it. I said, that's what we've, as a public school, that's what we've asked for, get separation from the privates. I think we're definitely going to see, holistically over Class AAA, more, I guess, advantage in the, what I call the country club sports, the tennises, the golf, things like that. I think you'll see more of an impact there, where there's only 2 at-large teams that made it in. But yeah, did we get the top 32 teams? I think we did. There's 32 good teams in there, but yeah, I echo your concerns about, a lot of teams playing in the same quadrant and everything, but I think it's definitely a work in progress. I expect to see some changes next year also. So, but maybe it's something's heading in the right direction. If not, I'd say in 2 years, we'll probably change it again, right?
Yeah. And so, and we all knew that this would be a work in progress with the power ranking system. So, it may even change next year. Who knows? But, I do think we got the best 32.
Coach, let's talk about LaGrange a little bit. What can we expect out of that team? Because they're coming in here 7-3, and they've had a pretty tough schedule. When I look over some of their opponents that they played this year,
their region is really good. We say we got the best 32. There's a Troup County team there that finished 5th in their region that probably has an argument that they should be one of those top 32. They were a really good football team, especially studying them on film this weekend. But the level of competition that LaGrange has played has made them battle tested. Very good running back, a guy that's a 1,500-yard rusher, who's kind of a bowling ball kid, a big, thick, physical kid that runs really well too. He'll be difficult to tackle. We know we got to stop him before he gets going. The quarterback is also a very good runner. They honestly remind me a lot of us. With the kind of the Cal Nolan backfield that we have, they have a very similar backfield. Defensively, very athletic, not very big, but very athletic. They run really well sideline to sideline from all positions on the field, whether it be D-line, linebacker, or it's secondary. All of their guys run really well. So that's a challenge for us, but we feel like we're ready for any challenge that comes our way.
Coach, message for the Lumpkin County fans, and I assume kickoff's going to be 7:30.
Yes.
Yeah, message to the Lumpkin fans. I'd say get there early and get loud.
Get there early and be loud. Our fans have made an impact on us. Several games. Our fans have made an impact, and we expect it to happen again.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us here on the North Georgia Sports Link. Just wanted to get a quick check-in, and I know we've been talking about some exciting things coming up this week, and the game, of course, will be broadcast live on North Georgia Sports Link this Friday night. Lumpkin County playing host to LaGrange in the first round of the Class AAA state playoffs.